Okay, next is the third test is HVAC wet and dry test. Okay, so wet and dry test, wet and dry with 10 tests we have to supply one HVAC, and then the second one is impulse. Okay, um, so this is HVAC wet and dry test. Um, so basically we need the test sample. Okay, we need the test sample. We need the HVAC supply. Okay, in this case, for example, HVAC resonant set, right? As long as it can supply high voltage AC supply, then we will use that. Okay, and then you can see here connected to the conductor. This is the composite cross arm. Okay, the cross arm. This is the test sample. Okay, the sample being tested. Um, so composite cross arm is basically a part of the overhead transmission line tower component. All right, the cross arm. All right, so the cross arm is connected to the tower. All right, the tower is of course is grounded, connected to the ground. So we supply high voltage this side. This is the insulator. This is the insulation. This is the connected to ground, and then we have uh, spraying system to supply water, this normal water, to simulate rain condition. All right, spray at both sides. Right, so you can see we perform both wet and dry tests. Okay, so first is dry. Okay, so we can turn off the pump, and then second repeat the test to perform wet test. Okay, this is the picture of the HVAC wet and dry test. You can see this is the HVAC resonance set. So I believe you have learned this in the previous chapter about resonant transformer. Okay, to supply high voltage AC supply. Then connected to the, you can see here, this is the conductor. Right, this is the conductor, and then we have the composite cross arm, and then this is the ground. Okay, and you can see both sides we have the spray system. uh, all right, so the test is carried out to investigate any possibility of visual corona, flashover, survival system voltage, TOV, etc. So basically we supply high voltage, we have to check if there is flashover, if there is corona, to test on the insulation. Okay, to check on whether the insulation is designed properly, can withstand the voltage or not, so on. Right, so resonant transformer 415/650 kV. So you can see here is a resonant transformer because it can step up very high from 415 volt to 650 kilovolt. All right, that is the unique of resonant transformer. It can go from low voltage to very high voltage. So it is used to supply the power to the circuit and its output. Okay, we measure the output using capacitance divider. Okay, because now it is very high voltage, we cannot just simply use resistance to measure the output voltage. We have to use capacitive divider to measure the output voltage. And then the volume control artificial rain with specific conductivity and flow rate according to the standard. Of course, we have to refer to standard. What is the flow rate of the water? What is the conductivity of that water? Must be controlled. And then the water is sprayed at the nozzle to completely cover the entire of the surface. All right. So supplied to each test for about 1 to 3 minutes duration. Okay, in dry test, no artificial raining is provided. Okay, so we turn off that water pump, and then when we perform the test, when we supply the high voltage, we collect the data. We collect both current and voltage. Okay, so we collect as usual as in previous test. We measure the voltage, we measure the leakage current, the current that going to the ground, and then we perform visual inspection as well. We monitor visually for any corona flashover on the surface, any damage on the surface, and so on. um, so in this test, sufficient clearance of the testing area are required, okay, to prevent the unnecessary flashover to nearby equipment or object that could cause damage or danger to themselves. Basically, because of the test will use high voltage up to 650 kilovolt, so we have to make sure that we have enough clearance, okay, between the high voltage conductor, that high voltage supply, with human, with other equipments. All right, so we need sufficient clearance. um, so of course we have to perform the dry test, and then we repeat it with wet test, right? I think that's it. It's not too complicated on this test.